All right, let's dive in. Today, we're talking about a massive challenge for any mission-driven organization. How do you go from feeling completely burned out to making a huge impact? The secret isn't about working harder, it's about working smarter by getting rid of all those hidden, frustrating things that drain your team's energy. First up, let's talk about what I call the mission-driven grind. If you work in a nonprofit or in government, you know exactly what this feels like. You are so passionate about making a difference, but your day-to-day is this constant fight against clunky processes, never-ending paperwork, and systems that just don't talk to each other. So does this hit close to home? You've got this incredible fire to get things done, but you feel like you're spending all your energy just fighting the process itself. You know, this gap between your passion and the process, well, it's a huge reason for burnout, and it has a real, tangible cost. Just how high is that cost? Well, it can be up to 200% of an employee's salary just to replace them. Yeah, let that sink in for a second. When your most talented, passionate people leave because they're just exhausted from inefficient work, the financial hit is absolutely enormous. It's a blaring signal that the way we're working is fundamentally broken. Okay, so how do we even begin to fix this? It all starts with a big shift in how we think. We have to start actively hunting for and eliminating something called process waste. So what in the world is process waste? Well, it's basically any step or any action that doesn't directly add value to the people you're trying to serve, whether that's a citizen, a donor, or someone in your program. If you ever catch yourself doing something just because, that's how we've always done it, chances are you've just found a source of waste. And here they are, the 7 usual suspects of waste. As you look at this list, seriously, think about your own workday. How much of your time gets eaten up by waiting for an approval, or hunting down a document, or fixing errors in paperwork? Every single one of these not only pulls resources away from your mission, it's also the very thing that fuels that burnout we were just talking about. So how do we get rid of this waste in a smart, systematic way? Well, there's this really powerful framework called Lean Six Sigma. The best way to think of it is like a professional toolkit for making things more efficient and higher quality. And it has been proven to work wonders in both government and nonprofit settings. But here's the really good news. You don't need to become a Lean Six Sigma black belt to start seeing a change. Let's look at a few simple, really accessible tools you can start using like today to build your very own automation toolkit. Okay, 2 of the most popular ones out there are IFTTT and Zapier. Here's the simplest way to think about them. IFTTT is fantastic for small, simple automations, maybe for yourself or a small team, and it's mostly free. Zapier, on the other hand, is built for business. It's way more powerful. It connects to all that professional software you use, like CRMs, and it's what you're going to want when you're ready to scale things up. And the logic behind all these tools? It's incredibly simple. It's just, if this, then that. For example, if a new donation comes in through PayPal, that's your trigger. Then automatically add that donor to your thank you list in MailChimp. That's your action. Boom, no more copying and pasting names. And that right there, that's the magic of starting small. When you automate these little repetitive tasks, you free up their team's most precious resources, their time, their focus, and their mental energy, all of which can go right back into the mission itself. Okay, now let's really kick this up a notch. What happens when we take that same automation logic and we apply it to much more advanced technology, like AI? Well, the results are, honestly, they're transformative. We're talking about shrinking processes that used to take weeks or even months down to just a few hours. Check out this quote from a recent study on AI-assisted grant writing. They found that using ChatGPT cut the prep time from a staggering 30 to 50 days all the way down to just 3 to 5 days. I mean, think about that. A process that used to eat up over a month of someone's time can now be done in less than a week. This isn't just a small improvement, it's a total game changer. And when you see it visually, it's even more shocking. On the left, you've got the old way, about 40 days of hard work. And on the right, the AI-assisted way, just 4 days. That's a 90% drop in time. But it actually gets even better. Because it wasn't just about being faster, it was about being better. The study also found their grant success rate jumped to 50%. That's compared to an industry average of just 15%. This tells us that the AI isn't just doing the work for you, it's actually helping produce a much higher quality result. So, how'd they pull this off? What was their secret?
Well, they built these custom AI assistants, kind of like the ones you see here, and each one was trained on the exact guidelines for a specific grant. That meant the AI could help draft, structure, and tweak the proposal so it perfectly matched what the funders were looking for. Pretty smart, right?
So here's the really crucial part. These tools, as powerful as they are just one piece of the puzzle. The real mission here is to use this technology to build a truly modern, efficient, and high-impact organization from the ground up. Think about this for a second. A recent report found that 90% of nonprofits are already juggling 3 or more different tech tools. So the tools are there, but way too often they're disconnected. They don't talk to each other, which just creates new headaches and new silos of information. The logical next step, the real level up, is making those tools talk to each other. And for almost any mission-driven organization, the single most important connection you can make is integrating your CRM, your donor or client database, with your financial and accounting systems. And when your systems are actually talking to each other, a whole bunch of awesome things happen. You get rid of manual data entry, which means way fewer errors. Your data becomes standardized and reliable for everyone. And this leads to faster, more accurate reports and real collaboration between, say, your fundraising and finance teams. Everybody is finally on the same page, working from the same set of numbers. Which brings us to what I think is the most important takeaway of all. The technology, that's the enabler. But the real goal is cultural. It's about building a team-wide mindset of continuous improvement, where everyone feels empowered to spot waste and find smarter, better ways to get the work done. So I'll leave you with this to chew on. If you could really streamline the process, remove all that friction and waste and burnout from your day-to-day, and then take all of that saved time and energy and money and pour it directly back into your mission, what could you truly achieve?